and Frederick Anderson is gone. Frederick Anderson is no longer a member of this team. I can't believe it. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the new Tampa Bay Lightning. They look stellar in the regular season, and you think after the second round, they'll finally win a cup. But alas, they lose in Game 7 of the conference finals. That is the ultimate you hate to see it. Back-to-back years, Eastern Conference Final, beaten by the damn Philadelphia Flyers, and let me tell you, I'm tired of it. What's going on, guys? I'm fired up, and welcome back to your Toronto Maple Leafs franchise mode. Poor Mitch Marner. Can we just say something nice about him in the comments? Because he is having a rough time. He had 31 points in 19 games. He lit it up. We didn't even reach the Stanley Cup Final, and he puts up 30 points in the postseason. And he took a team-friendly deal to be here to win a cup, and he's playing like he wants to win a cup. What a year for Mitchy Marnes. Honestly, man, what a fantastic postseason run. Unfortunately, once again, for the second straight year, I was all ready to go to the Stanley Cup Final. I was thinking, yeah, we have our ticket punched. We have a 3-1 lead against Philly in the Eastern Conference Final. It feels good, but oh my God, those damn Philadelphia Flyers, man, they just battled and they broke us and they wore us down, and we had a couple of injuries, and it just wasn't a good time. I could sit here for the next 2 hours explaining how much I hate the Philadelphia Flyers for kicking us out of the postseason for the second year in a row. God. Well, we got to move on here. We got a job to do. We got to get back on the horse. We have the draft in this video. We have to do something about our contract situation. Now, we got a comment here from Alec, and he's going to talk about our goaltending, and it's kind of how I feel. He goes ahead and he says, he's on the fence. I feel like you leaked a lot of goals. Anderson's save percentage was quite low, and last we checked, there were so many situations where you let in a flurry of goals on few shots. That did happen quite a few times, especially in the Philadelphia series. But on the other hand, all goalies kind of seem to be meh in career mode when you sim especially, so I'm not sure you'll find a goalie that'll play much better. Could be the difference though, because you outscored opponents a fair amount. Let the team down too often, just a thought. Not sure if there's any other unrestricted free agent goalies who are better. Obviously don't force it if there's no options out there. I feel ya. Trust me, I love Freddie Anderson. He's 31 years old. This is kind of his, I guess this would be his 4th playoff run with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we haven't got it done yet. I would think about trading Anderson or going with another goalie if we got bounced in the first round, like in consecutive years, but that hasn't been the case. Obviously, with the Bruins in the real NHL, that's a whole nother problem, but in our franchise mode, Eastern Conference Final, back-to-back years, I mean, maybe if we had some more support, I mean, I can sit here and make excuses for Frederick Anderson all day. I'm not going to blame our goalie, but I agree with you. It was shaky at some times. So we have a limited amount of cap here, and I'm wondering that if I was to offer these people a contract right now, would they want less than what they want in the free agency period or in the re-sign stage? So what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to offer them both a contract right now. We have $23 million, so we're just going to be able to get it done. He wants 5.5 for 3 years, which I'm totally fine with. A 31-year-old starting goalie at 5.5. If you wanted like an 8-year deal, that would be a bit concerning, but only a 3-year deal. He wants to get the job done in Toronto. He doesn't want an extension, so I'm wondering if he's not going to accept that. I might have to beef it up a little bit, and if that's the case, we will do that in the re-sign stage. Now, Gabriel Landeskog, and he was a big reason why we made it to the Eastern Conference Final, and I said not an 8-year deal, but here we got ourselves an 8-year deal. He wants 8 years at $9 million. Mind you, this is a team that's already paying John Tavares 11, Morgan Riley 5, which is an absolute steal, Austin Matthews 11, Mitch Marner 8. So I mean, we're paying a lot of players a lot of money right now. Shout out to William Nylander and shout out to Mike Kennedy for pointing out that pretty sure after the playoff series with Florida, all the quote-unquote trade Nylander talk can now go away. That's true. The guy was a unit in the postseason, especially in that Florida series, scored some clutch goals for us. He's been a point-per-game player the last 2 years in the postseason. You can't really ask for a whole lot more. Had a game winner. Obviously, that overtime winner was clutch, and he was a big big reason why we were actually in the position that we were in originally. A guy had 82 points, a career year. I'm a big fan of Will Nye, the hockey guy. I know at the start it was a little bit sketchy when he was 84 overall, but he's growing. He's growing to an 88 overall. But back to Landeskog here. So if we give him, let's go on the low end, right, at 8.5 million for 8 years. It's less than what he wants. He does want an extension, but I'm just going to throw that at him, all right? Those are our two big guns, signed, sealed, and delivered. Now, Zach Hyman, what does he want? He wants 3.4, okay. All right, we'll see how much we have after those other guys sign. Adam Lowry wants 3, so there's $6 million right there, 6.5. Jason Spezza, who's been in the league for 300 years, he wants 2. There's $8 million right there. And luckily for us, that's all we have to do in the re-sign stage. So it's gonna be again just by the hair of our chinny chin chin. This was kind of the way we did it in our Saskatchewan franchise mode. How we stayed competitive for so long is we basically played to the cap every single year. We were always at the cap. We had like 250 grand left over at the start of each year, and I kind of intend to do that here with our Toronto franchise mode. Now I want to talk about one thing really quickly. In the last episode, I titled it "The Last Episode?" And the question mark was a big thing, because if we won there, that would have been the last episode. We did our job, we won a cup, but obviously we didn't win, so we're back, baby. We're not going away anytime soon. I mean, I want to end the series because I want to win the cup, but I'm also having a lot of fun with it, and I know you guys don't want the series to be over in like 8 videos, so we're going to continue on here. If you were in my live stream on Twitch the other day, you will know the new franchise mode that we're going to be doing, and if you know it, don't spoil it in the comments. Don't be that guy. I'll have a video out explaining the franchise mode in a couple days, maybe a week and a half, once we kind of know what's going on here with Toronto. But oh boy, it's going to be a fun one, and we got to worry about the draft as well. So there's going to be lots of exciting things here with the next franchise mode. But Detroit has the first overall pick. They're probably going to pick one of those defensemen, and I'm actually going to potentially have a look at some trades here. Let me have a look around the NHL. We might need to dump a little bit of cap. I kind of have somewhat of a plan, but also not really. This draft doesn't seem very exciting. A lot of defensemen, nothing really jumping out at you crazy, but let's see here. The Detroit Red Wings, I assume they're going to go with a defenseman, and they do. A defensive defenseman first overall. Cunning, 78, medium elite. He's a defensive defenseman though. And then Anthony goes to the New Jersey Devils. So New Jersey gets another top 10 pick. That's insane. He's 78 overall, medium elite. And this one should be Wong. No, it's not. They go with Cole Sillinger. Wow, Cole Sillinger was like rated to go 6, I think. Yeah, because Wong was definitely going to go 3. Maybe he was rated to go 5. But wow, okay, so they took a chance on him. They wanted the center and they got him. Winnipeg making big moves. Colorado gets the other defenseman, 74 overall. Defenseman on defenseman on defenseman. Lakatika Nakanin. Those damn Finns and their crazy names. The Wild take another defenseman. Are we going to see another one? There he is. There's Wong, 75 overall. So maybe the Winnipeg Jets saw something in Sillinger that other teams didn't, but it looks like Arizona got a pretty damn good player there, 6th overall. Another defenseman? No, Paulson, medium elite. Damn, this is a deep-ass draft. Now, I saw some people in the comments wondering what that green little, like, bullseye, like, dart radar looking thing in the top left. It's actually if they moved up. So that means they won some sort of draft lottery and they moved up in the draft. So, for example, like, all 4 of these teams moved up. That's what that means. Fun fact. I'm looking around for some potential trade partners, and I'm thinking that I'm going to wait until the trade deadline or, in fact, the draft for next year, because I want to see what our team can do with a full year with Gabriel Landeskog. So we don't have a pick until number 58. I don't think we're going to make a move. If any trade offers come at us, maybe I'll have a quick look at it. But again, ooh, nice pick there. 70 overall, medium elite. Not bad at all, Washington. But again, this is going to be a franchise mode. You're not going to see a lot of emphasis on drafting. I highly doubt you're going to see a drafted player in the franchise franchise mode? Maybe, potentially. It's not looking like that's going to be the case, but right away we can pick Henrik Erzberg, who's a big defenseman out of the SHL. He's 18 years old. Or we can go with Cody Lankow, a centerman, which we don't really need a centerman. Nikolai Burmistrov, he's 6'3", 201, a big defenseman. Rich Rycroft, so there's a couple decent players out there. The Sedin bloodline lives on. Matthias Sedin out of the SHL. Another Sedin Swede. You love to see it. I know this. You know this. We're not too attached to the draft, so none of this really matters. But let's go ahead and pick the best player available. We could go with Burmistrov, who's 19 years old, or Henrik Erzberg, who's 18. Since we have limited time, let's take the player who's older. Sometimes if they're a couple years older, they could be good to go in a couple years. He's 63, low top 6, so definitely not great. Lankow was low top 9, 59 overall. What about Erzberg? 59, low top 6. So yeah, we definitely made the right choice there. Thank you very much. I'll take Burmistrov all day. 122nd overall. What do we got? We took a defenseman last time. Looks like we're going to take another defenseman here. Let's continue with the older guys. 6'2", 207. Antti Kiskinen, he's a defensive defenseman. His NHL ETA is 3 years away, so I'm cool with that. Let's go. Another defenseman in the books, 58 overall, low 7th D. Yikes. Really awkward for me to just kind of skip over the drafts and not really think a whole lot into it, because that's one of the most enjoyable times when recording a franchise mode is actually doing the draft and actually growing your players. But when you're in a 5-year window, you gotta win now. The draft kind of becomes a secondary thing. Let's pick a goalie just for fun. 6'4" out of the queue. His NHL ready is 4 years, so he's probably not going to make an appearance here, but there he is. 59 overall, medium backup. Not a terrible selection. Ooh, looks like Tyler Toffoli has been dealt to the LA Kings. All right, so he goes back to LA. I forget who he signed with. I think it was either Nashville or Florida or something. Anyways, he's now back with the Los Angeles Kings. Our scout recommends this guy, another defenseman, our third one of the draft. Let's listen to our scout. 57, low, top 4. I really hate doing the draft quickly because I love the draft, so this is kind of annoying for me, and I bet it's annoying for some of you guys as well. Abraham Pollock, 6'5", 214. Guy's a unit. NHL ETA is 5 years, so again, probably not going to make an impact. Is there anyone that's like quicker? Jeremy Martin, or Martin, but he looks like he's French, so we'll go with Martin. He's 3 years away, 19 years old. Let's see. Let's go with Jeremy Martin or Martin. There you go. Why not? 3 years away, 20 years old, 64 overall. He'll probably hop right into the AHL, actually. So the draft is done, but more importantly, we have to figure out if our two big players ended up signing their extensions. We will find out right now. We sim one more day. It should show us. Potentially right now, Gabriel Landeskog. It was an easy decision to decide to renew my contract. Let's go, Landy. Let's go. And Frederick Anderson said no. Okay, so Frederick Anderson we're going to have to work on, which I kind of expected. But Landeskog, he is a Toronto Maple Leaf for the next 8 seasons. Yikes. Okay, so what if we gave him a 1-year deal at $6 million per? Oh, God, that's going to screw me up. We're going to have to say goodbye to Lowry, maybe even Spezza. Oh, man, we're so screwed. We are screwed. Oh, God. We got to say goodbye to one. We have to say goodbye to probably all these players, actually. I'd love to hang on to Zach Hyman. Our third line just got decimated. This is a yikes. This is a yikes, boys. This is a yikes. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's kind of my thoughts. Since Frederick Anderson doesn't want an extension, it's likely that he maybe doesn't want to play here anymore after 4 straight years of being bounced in the playoffs. 31 years old. I mean, does he want to be here? He's not really taking a team-friendly deal, but you can't expect every player to take a team-friendly deal. But we're so top-heavy that it's going to make sense that our bottom 6 is going to have to take a back seat. So that's where guys like Timashov, Jeremy Bracco, Nick Baptiste, Freddie Gauthier, the cheap guys are going to have to come in and make an impact, because we're so top heavy that we really need our younger guys to come up. But what I was saying about Frederick Anderson is that, do we wait until free agency? And maybe either A, he's going to want less, or B, there's going to be a cheaper goalie out there. So we could let all of these players walk. Like, oh man, can I see like a thing that says pending free agents? This is a very tough decision right now. This is extremely tough. What I would love to see, and potentially I'll actually send this idea into the EA guys, but what I would love to see in the upcoming free agents is maybe like a bar, like the binocular thing that shows how likely they are to sign with their team, just so I can get a better idea. Because maybe all these goalies, they sign, and then I go into free agency and all that's available is Jake Allen for $3 million, and then I'm kind of screwed. So either we play it safe and give Frederick Anderson the $6 million, and then we have $1.5 million to spend. We got to say goodbye to 3 roster players. Either way, we're kind of screwed, and I kind of screwed myself with the Landeskog contract, but we need him. We need him in our top 6. It's kind of an interesting situation with Toronto, because in a real world, you'd probably say goodbye to Landeskog, and you'd probably just keep that extra $7 million to spread throughout your lineup. That probably would have been the right move, but with our specific team, the way that everything's structured is that we have 2 first lines, we have a couple good top pairing defensemen, and hopefully Timothy Liljegren is really going to jump up this year. We have our big guns, and then we have a bunch of guys that are just good supporting players. We're going to need to see a lot from these guys next year, that's for sure. But, oh man, either way, we're kind of screwed. Let's see if Frederick Anderson's going to sign a 1-year deal at $6 million. Let's just get the contract negotiations flowing. Let's see what you want to do here. I would have loved to get him on that $5.5 million, but that ship has already sailed, unfortunately. Frederick Anderson decided to reject. All right, we gave him exactly what he wants. All right, we give him 6.4 for 3 years. Let's see if that gets the job done. If that doesn't get the job done, we might have to force this into free agency. Let's see. Yeah, reject. So he doesn't want to sign here, boys. Do we let Frederick Anderson walk? Oh man, this is a big decision right now. Love to keep them both, but if we actually try to sign them both, Adam Lowry wants 2.5. Okay, that's manageable, and then Zach Hyman wants 3 by 3. So I think Adam Lowry might be the smartest decision. If I give him 2.5 right now, and then there's a goalie in free agency that wants 6, like I'd rather get a goalie and have Jeremy Bracco take these guys' place than have to go and you know, not have a tendy. So I think we're taking a big risk here. It's a big risk, and we're gonna go to free agency. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. All these guys, I just gave them their RFA rights. That's fine. Blah, 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 blah. This is a big risk and something that I'm not super, I don't know. I'm kind of worried here. I'm a little bit worried. So we got 7.3 million. I'm not worried about the forwards right now. I'm worried about tendies. So what does Frederick Anderson now want? He wants 6.6 for 4. So that didn't help us. Oh man, there's not a lot out there, boys. There's not a lot out there. I think our hands might be tied here. I mean, Devin Dubnyk is out there for $4 million. He's cheap, he's really good, but is he gonna drop to like 83 at the start of the year? That's something I'm concerned about. Or we could go with a guy like Robin Lehner, who's 85 overall, and he had a terrible year, absolutely god awful. So not super pumped on this Robin Lehner train. However, he is cheap. Darcy Kemper as well is another option. He's cheap. Frederick Anderson wants a 4-year deal at 6.6. Honestly, I just can't do it. I still have to sign players. Another goalie that's interesting is Philip Grubauer. I've seen him simulate really, really well, and he had a fantastic year, not last year, but the year before. Last year, he really struggled, but maybe it's time for Philip Grubauer to come to Toronto. He's cheap. He's not as good as Dubnyk or Henrik Lundqvist or Frederick Anderson, but it's definitely a calculated risk. He wants a 1-year deal, $4 million. I like that a lot. After this, we're going to have $3.1 million. We can go and get Adam Lowry or Zach Hyman back. I think Philip Grubauer might be our guy. All we need is a goalie just to make the right amount of saves. We're going to score a ton of goals. We just need to keep the goals out of our net. Our defense is great. Philip Grubauer, I don't need you to have 11 shutouts. I need you just to get the job done. So Philip Grubauer, I choose you. You're my Pokemon of choice. $4 million for 1 year. Sign with the Leafs, come win a Stanley Cup, and then you can get paid. All right, so our forward core as of right now looks like Landeskog, AM34, Mitch Marner, Nylander, Tavares, Chris Kreider. That's not changing. Our third line is going to be Jeremy Bracco on the center, which is definitely subject to change since he's only 76 overall, 24 years old. We might give the kid a shot, or I might throw him on the fourth line. That's probably what's going to happen. So basically our third line center position is open, and then we'll go with Bracco, Freddie the Goat Gauthier, and then Nick Baptiste on the fourth. We're basically in the market for like a third liner, which is not that bad with like $3.5 million bucks. But Morgan Rielly, Tyson Barrie, Liljegren, Travis Dermott, Derek Forbort, and then Schmaltz, obviously. Not bad. I think it's going to be better than what we initially thought. Having Jeremy Bracco on the third line isn't great. If he was like 79 overall, I'd be happier with that, but unfortunately he's not. I'm just having a look around the NHL. If there's anyone that's cheap that a team wants to get rid of, maybe a cheap fourth liner, not Brent Burns, not David Perron. Maybe there's someone out there who's like 79 overall, like a Taylor Radish. Obviously his trade value is a little bit out of my range. We're going to probably stay away from that, but you kind of know the player I'm looking for, someone who's got a decent overall and they're cheap. Basically, I want something that doesn't exist, so good luck to me. Zach Hyman is a guy I would absolutely love to bring back, and I think a lot of you guys would like to see that as well. At $3.2 million, I don't think we have another option. I would love to sign him. I think we're going to do it. He's going to play on the third line. Obviously, he's going to be on the wing. Either Andreas Johnsson will go in the middle, or I'll call up Freddie Gauthier, play third line center. It's not great, but we got to do what we got to do. $3.4 million. Hopefully, Zach Hyman signs on the dotted line, comes back to his old team. Having a look at Oliver Bjorkstrand, he wants a 2-year deal at 1.6. That's not a lot of money for an 82 overall. We're going to wait a couple days. I want to see if our two big guys are going to sign, and then with the extra change we have lying around, we'll see if we can go after another winger. That really wouldn't hurt. 2 firsts for Brent Burns. Do you know my cap situation right now? Doug Wilson, are you joking me? You're just messing with me. Philip Grubauer, what's up, baby? Welcome to the squad. You love to see it. Our new starting goalie, and Zach Hyman is also back. Oh, baby. Here we go. Add Zach Hyman to the forward core. We have 1.5 million bucks to work with. 1.5. So it's not a lot of money. It's chump change, really, but let's see what we can do. I would like to get Oliver Bjorkstrand, I really would, but in our current cap situation, the only cap dump, I guess if you can even call it a cap dump, is going to be our backup in Michael Neuwirth. He's only making 1.1 million, so that's going to clear up just a little bit of cap, but I need a goalie in return. So it's kind of like I'm not really making any strides. I'd have to get a goalie who's a lot worse. I'd love a goalie on their entry level, but to find an NHL ready entry level backup goalie, it's kind of difficult. I mean, James Reimer is a better backup than what we have now. He's only making $700K for 2 years. James Reimer might not be a bad deal. Bring him back to Toronto, get him a Stanley Cup. Honestly, I don't hate this at all. I, in fact, really like this. And he played in the American Hockey League. However, he was 13-6 in his time with Carolina. So they have a steal of a deal here. We could probably get it done to save cap, bring back a fan favorite, Optimus Rhyme. Let's make this happen. We got to save as much cap as we can. Plus, we might be able to get Oliver Bjorkstrand as well with this extra cap we're going to save. So I'll obviously have to throw a draft pick at him. How about a 4th and Michael Neuwirth for James Reimer? Will this go through? Trade rejected. All right, we're going to have to throw a little bit more. We get a better backup goalie. Let's see if this will go through. Throw a 7th as well. Trade rejected. They're not interested in this. Okay, I mean, I can see why they wouldn't want to give up. James Reimer. but they kind of have to get rid of one of their goalies. Either it's going to be Nedeljkovic or Reimer. So let's try for Nedeljkovic since they want to get rid of him. He's cheaper. He's better than Michael Neuwirth. Will this go through? I mean, I like the James Reimer thing, but he's a really good deal, and he's kind of exactly what they need right now. So I understand. But Nedeljkovic, are you going to be coming to Toronto? A cheaper backup goalie? Trade rejected. They're going to want a little bit more. What if I threw a third? That makes sense, right? Third and Michael Neuwirth, that should get the job done. Trade accepted. There you go. I mean, we got rid of that cap. We got a better backup goalie. We win that situation all day, every day. Gonna give you a 1.8 just so you'll sign on the dotted line. 1.8, it's not a ton of money. We'll give it to you for 1 year. There you go. Get your career back on track. Come to Toronto and hopefully win a Stanley Cup. We lost out on a few guys like Adam Lowry and Jason Spezza, but you know what? It's a business. We got a big trade here. Silverberg goes back to Ottawa. All right, that's kind of fun. And Frederick Anderson is gone. Frederick Anderson is no longer a member of this team. I can't believe it. Nick Baptiste also signed our qualifying offer, so that's cool. We're actually going to have a decent amount of players here. If Brocco's not ready, I don't want to play him in the NHL, so now with Baptiste signed, I was worried that he wasn't going to sign, but I'll take that. Things are looking up. This is definitely called playing to the cap. Here we go. First and foremost, we have to have a look at where Frederick Anderson signed. Let's actually just quickly view around the league, just for fun. Daniel Sprong, waivers, how are ya? We got to figure out where Frederick Anderson signed. Now, I could just go search for him, but that's no fun. Let's have a look at everyone's goaltending tandems, and we're not going to have to go far because he goes to the dirty desert. Frederick Anderson signs with the Arizona Coyotes. All right. What's that contract looking like, Freddie? Did you get paid? 6.8 for 4. So they paid $400,000 more than what he wanted, and he decides to sign in the dirty desert. Right. Could have been battling for a Stanley Cup, but now you're going to be battling to see who gets on the golf course first. Good luck in Arizona. That's a yikes from me, dog. I'm just kidding. I love Arizona. Okay, now let's have a look at our lines. The most important thing here, let's have a look at the squad. I got to change everything up. Give me a second. All right, so let's start with the defense here. Morgan Riley and Timothy Liljegren, who's now an 85 medium elite. He's panning out just awesome. 22 years old. He's a bona fide stud. We got Barry, Travis Dermott. We got Derek Forbort and Jordan Schmaltz. Not a lot changed there. Between the pipes, we have Alex Nedeljkovic at an 81 overall. Thank you, Carolina. And we also got Philip Grubauer. So he's our new starter. I'm hoping for big things. I'm hoping that our offense is really going to carry things this year as they usually do. Not too worried about that. Going towards the forward core. It's a bit interesting because our third line is a little bit out of whack because I didn't realize that Timashov was going to jump so high up. He's now an 81 overall and he is basically ready to go. He kind of bumps Oliver Bjorkstrand down, which is fine, which is totally fine. Zach Hyman taking face-offs. I don't love it. His face-off, he's not a centerman, so that's a little bit weird, but it works for right now. William Nylander, John Tavares, Chris Kreider, love that line. Landy, Matthews, Marner. I'm really excited to see what a full year of Landy, Matthews, and Mitch Marner is going to come to. I think this line is going to surprise a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of points. Personal goal for my first line here, I want Landeskog to be a 75-point guy. I want Matthews to be a 40-goal guy. I want Marner to be a 90-point guy. That's my expectations for the first line. I think that's pretty reasonable for those three guys. Obviously, Tavares and William Nylander. Chris Kreider hit the jackpot playing with them. And now we go on to the scratch players. We have Trevor Moore and Jeremy Brocco. Now, Brocco is listed as a depth forward and Trevor Moore is a fourth liner. So, I mean, you can kind of go a few different ways. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Was signing Oliver Bjorkstrand maybe a mistake? Maybe, because if that's the case, we could maybe trade him and, Trevor Moore or whatever for like a really good third line centerman. Timashov kind of surprised me. I didn't think he would be that ready to go, so it kind of kind of confused the lines a little bit. Not having a legitimate third line center is a little bit weird. Trust me, I know. But I want to get at least a couple games done here. And obviously, I'll see the game against Arizona if we have one. First off, let's have a look at the coach, see what's up with Mr. Reese Moore. This is going to be his third year behind the bench, and he has a record of 95, 56, and 13. He's happy. Everything's good to go. His team fit is still 62%. He loves Tyson Barrie and Timothy Liljegren, and that is our head coach, Reese Moore. We're still listed as a champion, and I'm thinking this is going to be our year. I've been saying that for the past 2 years, but I'm feeling it, boys. I'm feeling it. We don't have a game against Arizona in the first month or against Philly. Those are two I'm definitely going to circle on my calendar. We have a game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Make sure to maybe start Nedeljkovic. No games against our two big rivals here in the first couple of months. All right, so the first game is going to be in December 30th, just before the new year, our last game before 2022. That's going to be the first matchup against Frederick Anderson and the Coyotes, which just sounds weird. Where's the Philly matchup at, though? We play a home and home in February against them, so that's going to be awesome. And then we play the Arizona Coyotes one more time. So that's it. We only play them each twice. Interesting. All right, let's go get 5 games done, or maybe the first month, depending on how things go, up against the Buffalo Sabres. We have to wait a couple days till our home opener. Let's go in Buffalo. We've played a couple epic games in Buffalo. Period number 1, and it's 1-1. Chris Kreider and Sam Reinhart. Period number 2. All right, 2-1. Timashov scores his first career NHL goal, but Jeff Skinner comes right back and scores on Philip Grubauer. All right, Timashov, love to see it, scoring in your NHL debut, even though he did play in the postseason. Andreas Mango Janssen, best third line in hockey right there. He scores a big goal. The Mango Man gets us the lead. 4 minutes left. Can we hold on to it? Philip Grubauer? Oh, Jason Spezza. Are you joking me? Of course. Of course. Of all people, Jason freaking Spezza. And that's what I call the xTech jinx. As soon as I mention our starting goalie, he allows a goal. We got to go into the shootout. Let's go. Austin Matthews starting things off in the shootout. He comes in, couple of moves, fakes him out, goes blocker side. Take that, Corey Crawford. Austin Matthews with the A. Here comes Eichel with the C. A couple of moves. Philip Grubauer says, no, baby, not today. Wearing Frederick Anderson's old number 91. Here comes John Tavares. Couple of moves, but Crawford was quick with the poke check. Sam Reinhart looking for a second of the game. Speaking about a poke check, there you go. Take that puck away. Mitch Marner with the game on his stick. 1-2. Oh my God, tries the one-hander. He got the pad there, unfortunately. Casey Middlestat comes in. He dekes out Philip Grubauer, and he ties up the shootout. Morgan Rielly, the captain, coming in a little bit slow. You hate to see that. All right, Grubauer, Jeff Skinner, he beat you earlier in the game. Is he going to do it again? No way. He shot that one basically at like the side of the net. Here comes Willie Nylander. He's been clutch in situations like this, and what the hell? How did that one go in? He scores when it looked like it was no longer possible. He gets a big goal. Connor Sherry with the worst shootout attempt I think I've ever seen, and the boys come through with a big win. Morgan Rielly, 3 assists. That's captain material, baby. Love to see it. Definitely not the sexiest win, but we definitely got it done. Now, I want to show you guys something. You might be noticing this. Underneath our record right now, this is involved with the new NHL 20 update. Right underneath our logo there's going to be a standings tab, which is going to show you all of the standings. So that wasn't there before. I love that they put that in there. That's going to be huge for like times in April when you're looking way down here, when you're like, oh man, how many points does the Florida Panthers have? How many points do these guys have? March and April, that's going to become super useful as opposed to going back to the main screen, all of this, all of that. Kind of annoying, so I'm glad that they added that. Thank God. Up against Detroit, we lose 5-3. In our home opener, we win 7-2. How you doing, Washington? Ovi, you all right? 4-1 win there against the Canucks. We're 3-1 to start off the year. Make it 4-1, baby. We're going all the way. We are going all the way. Going all the way past the Florida Panthers game. That's going to be the end of this month. A second for a third, a fourth, and Jordan Osterley. It's not a bad deal, but I'm going to say no. Tampa Bay, that's another win, 5-3. There you go. Philip Grubauer, he's on fire, baby. And there's the xTech jinx. Of course, I say he's doing good, and we lose. The Minnesota Wild are 2-7-0. This should be an easy 2 points, boys. Easy 2 points. Easy picking, low-hanging fruit. Gotta get a big 2 points here. 3-1 loss against the 2-7-0 Minnesota Wild. That's a yikes. Up against the Stanley Cup runner-up team, Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Let's end this month on a high note. I know we have one more game still, but let's go. It's a marquee matchup. McDavid versus Matthews, period number 1. And it's 1-0. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, period number 2. There you go. Austin Matthews, talk about the big guns. He comes through. We're out shooting them like crazy. 26-16. Come on, boys. Oh, my God. Leon Draisaitl, he scores on Philip Grubauer. But John Tavares, the big guns are out to play. Tavares, Matthews, RNH, Leon Draisaitl. Are we going to another shootout? No, because another big gun. He's got his second of the night. He's hunting for the empty net hat trick. Is he going to get it? He's got 2 on the night, looking for 3. And Andreas Janssen says, no. I got that empty net, buddy. Don't worry about it. Big win against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. We actually have a home and home here against the Florida Panthers. They're 9-2-0. So we have one game in Toronto and one game in Florida. Battle of the Titans. That's a 2-1 shootout win, and that's a 6-3 loss. You can't win them all. But they're 10-2-1. We're 8-4-0 after the first month. Not bad at all. Austin Matthews, obviously we know he's going to be killing it. 13 points in 12 games. There's a 4-way tie for second place, and the Canadians are only 1 point behind, so we could have a crazy division here. Hopefully we can separate ourselves from those guys, but Austin Matthews is a 93 overall. My God. William Nylander, all right, he's doing great, of course. Tyson Barrie, Morgan Riley, Andreas Janssen, Mitch Marner. Where's Tavares? 7-12. Okay, interesting. Gabriel Landeskog has got 8. He's got 25 penalty minutes, though. Just a goon. Oliver Bjorkstrand's got 3 helpers, no goals. Nick Baptiste, Jordan Schmaltz. We all know these guys aren't going to put up a ton of points, but there it is through the first 12 games of the regular season. As for goaltenders, 7-4-0 with a 9.15 save and a 2.7 goals against. I'm happy with Philip Grubauer's numbers throughout the first 10 games he's played. And going to all goalies, Philip Grubauer's right up there. I don't see Frederick Anderson. There he is, 6-7. Yikes, that's not a great look. Any crazy rookies here throughout the first 12 games? Lucas Raymond, Morgan Frost, and Kovalev. We saw that guy when he was drafted. Eric Brandstrom, Seattle Storm Bear legend Adam Boquist. And having a look at the entire skaters: Giroux, Aho, Barkov, Pacioretty, Laine, Jason Spezza. 11 goals in 13 games. The man who's 437 years old. He was drafted in 1812. How is he so damn good? Is he playing with Eichel? No way he's playing on the first line. What is going on in Buffalo? Playing third line center between Okposo and Vanek. That's the oldest line in the entire league. They actually have a nasty team, but interesting. Jason Spezza, killing it. Absolutely killing it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Rate the offseason from 1 to 10, 1 being you suck at life, 10 being you did a fantastic job. I'm going to rate myself probably a 7. I think maybe the Bjorkstrand signing was a bit of a panic move because now our third line's kind of all out of whack, but you guys can let me know if we should make a move, if we should just ride this hot train. What do we do going into the next episode? We're going to get a bunch of simulation done and then of course try our luck at the playoffs. Once again, hopefully the Philadelphia Flyers decide to suck this year, and it looks like they are third in the division. They're 7-4-0, 15 points. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.